Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in this video I want to share with you a very exciting gameplay at the ongoing 2021 FIDE World Cup. On the white side is French chess grandmaster Etienne Bacrot and his opponent is Russian chess grandmaster Pavel Ponkratov. This is a game from round 4, this is game 1, and Bacrot with white pieces opened up with e4. By the way, let me tell you that the game is extremely complex, that's why first we will go quickly through the game and then I will turn on Stockfish and we will analyze it together in order not to get lost in the jungle of endless variations. Ponkratov's answer was e6, French defense is on the board, knight c3 bishop b4 Winawer variation and knight ge2. White is choosing a rare Alekhine-Maroczy Gambit. The reason for this is that Bacrot wanted to surprise his opponent. D takes e4, a3, bishop e7. Bishop takes c3 followed by f5 is something which is also playable, sticking to the one pawn, but black is doing it at the cost of somewhat weakening the king side. This is a line which Nimtsovich was playing, but in the game black decided to give back the pawn and bishop e7 followed, after which we have knight takes e4. Queen d3, knight c6, bishop e3. Black castled king side, white castled queen side. Opposite side castlings is on the board and this usually leads to a sharp battle. What I don't like in this setup is that, unlike for example burn variation, we have a passive bishop on f1, which is somewhat difficult to activate. Also the knight on e2 is placed awkwardly. Again, unlike burn variation, yeah, I really don't like these pieces, although when it comes to white knight you can put it on f4. But still, solving the problem of development of the light squared bishop is not an easy task. Knight f3, bishop d6, g3, so white decided to fianchetto the bishop or put it on h3. c4 is interesting because you are meeting b5 with c5, thus keeping the queen side somewhat locked up, thus repelling black's attack. White knight lands on f4, a4, b3. So black is getting a very nice wedge on b3, right? But question arises, how is black going to proceed with the attack? That's not an easy task. Okay, so with g3, white was not intending to fianchetto the bishop, but instead, when the dust settled, white bishop landed on b5. Meanwhile, we see knight e4, and so bishop b5 allowed white to win this pawn on b3, right? Knight a5, queen a2, a6, knight takes e6. The position becomes very complex, and so black allowed white to win several pawns. Bishop goes back on d7. Rook f6, and there followed a very beautiful knight e5 move. Black didn't capture on e6, instead first played rook takes b2. We'll cover these lines once we finish the main game. At this point, only let me tell you that the threat is, for example, queen takes f6 followed by knight f7 check. Rook takes b2, king takes b2, queen b8 check. At the cost of sacrificing the rook, black moved away the queen from d8 where it was exposed to fork, and only then won white rook. Queen b6, black queen is hurrying to, okay, we have a pin. Black queen is hurrying to secure the king side from the 6th rank. Bishop goes on g5, which is again a very nice move. Knight takes g5, h takes g5, queen takes g5, rook b1. Now white rook is ready to harass black king from the 8th rank. Black is opening up a loop for his king, but anyways, rook b8 check followed. King h7, rook d1. White is first preventing any possible queen intrusions and then will proceed with the attack, although a move like, for example, rook e8 was an alternative, but white played safer. Bishop takes g6 check, and now yes, black's king side is starting to collapse, and now, for example, rook g8 check can be a threat. This time white bishop is harassing black king from g8, bishop d5 renewing rook g8 threat. And anyways, rook g8 followed, yes, but not with a check. Bishop g7, rook e8. All the time white is trying to find targets. Rook takes e5, queen g4, rook d3, f4, king b4. Yeah, at this point you have to be careful. For example, if rook f3, then knight c4 check can follow. That's why we first see king b4 attacking black knight, and then, oh, okay, at this point the knight is even trapped, right? This is interesting. F takes g3, rook e7 check, and at this point resignation followed. If king h8, then rook e8 check, and then bishop e4 check, and yes, black is losing his queen. That's why finally after rook e7 check, resignation followed. And now what I want to do is go through the game while my stockfish is on. Maybe we should jump a little bit further and start the game, I don't know, for example, maybe from move 17 on. b3, according to stockfish, playing knight a5 and then queen e8, hitting on a4 and provoking white to go for b3 is better. But even in this case, it's not clear how is black going to make a progress on the queen side. I don't know, maybe bishop d7, bishop a4 can be an idea, not sure. Anyways, in our game after a4, yeah, although the engine was showing bishop b7, but you can switch it into the attack from c6. Anyways, in the game we see b3, queen c3, knight f6. So then knight e4, queen takes b3, knight a5. Is there a move like a6 in here? Yeah, a6 looks to be a pretty decent move. In case of a6, what should white play? Knight e5. Oh, this is interesting. If here, then here. Ah, yeah, black queen is trapped, right? Yeah, this is interesting. Knight e5, so saves a piece. In the game we see knight a5, queen a2, a6. Yeah, only then a6 was made, but meanwhile white is managing to win several pawns. King h8, bishop d7. In case of bishop f1, rook f6 can be unpleasant, right? For white you have to move your queen all the way back. And after king h8, if queen takes a6, then c6 can follow. Here, and then rook f6, and again, seems like that white queen is trapped. In the game we see bishop d7, rook f6, knight e5, and yes, now queen takes f6 is the threat. If rook takes e6, then knight f7 check, and then knight takes d8, and it's over. White is winning. White has an extra piece, or not really? Not really. Materially, the players are equal, but white has 2 extra pawns. In the game after knight e5, that's why we see rook takes b2. Is rook takes b2 the strongest continuation? Not really, not really. Rook takes e6 was better, going for simplifications, but even in that case, black had no chance of surviving in that endgame, having being only 2 pawns down. King a3. Well, king c2 is also playable, but we have king a3. Finally, the queen sacrifice was accepted. Queen b6, bishop f7. And now the vulnerability of the light squares around black king can play a key role, you know. According to stockfish, bishop g5 is not that strong, and better was rook e1. If check, then d takes c5, and then check, bishop d4, and then rook g8. But in our game we see bishop g5. And what's the problem with it? So black has a nice defensive resource, bishop takes c5, and it seems like that in this case black is almost managing to equalize. But Ponkratov failed to find this line, and instead he captured on g5. Well, this is simple. H takes g5 can't be played. You're losing your queen. That's why we see knight takes g5 and h takes g5. Queen takes g5, rook b1, and now white rook is penetrating opponent's camp. And the rest is just a matter of technique, you know. Yeah, from this move on, it's easy to finish up opponent's king. Check, and then rook g8 is the threat. Yeah, let's take a quick look how white won once again. I don't think that there can be a problem for white, but still Bacrot was very careful, you know. For example, this line which he pointed out after the game, rook f3 is not good because of knight c4 check, is something which you have to take into consideration. It's very important. First we see king b4, and only then rook e7 check followed, and thus black resigned. So a very nice game by Bacrot. Both players played a very sharp game. Ponkratov also all the time was trying to add fuel to the fire, and all in all, I hope that you enjoyed this game. Let's see what's going to happen in the second round when Ponkratov will have the white pieces. In the chess puzzle for you, a simple one where the task is to win with the white pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in my next video.